right, it has finally happened, and here it is. It is BEBOP and ROCKSTEADY from the new Ninja Turtles Nickelodeon cartoon toy line. And we have actually seen them on the show. If you've been catching up, like last season, there was an episode called The Legend of the Kuro Kabuto, which was basically talked about the mythical properties of Shredder's helmet, and a Russian arms dealer named Sterenko hired Anton Zek, who's like a master thief, to steal it. And if you look closely at these guys, you'll see that this is Anton Zek, the thief, over here with his backpack of tricks and his X-ray specs and his ability to turn invisible. You can't see that here, obviously. And then you've got Sterenko, who has been mutated into ROCKSTEADY with the hammer and Cossack, which you'll notice from the Russian flag is typically Russian symbols. But yeah, so it's not just a couple of street punks. It is a thief and a Russian general who have been mutated into BEBOP and ROCKSTEADY this time. And they're actually really cool updates to the designs. I'm digging them a lot more than I thought. There are two variants to BEBOP. This is the darker skinned variant, which I prefer because it looks more like an actual warthog versus, you can kind of see a picture on the back of the package here. There is a lighter skinned variant that looks a little bit more like the lighter parts of the art. This is not nearly as dark as it looks in a lot of pictures. I've seen some pictures where the skin looks almost black. Not much lighter than the jacket itself, but you can see it actually is kind of a reddish brown, and it's much lighter in regular light than you see in some of the pictures online. And like I said, I do prefer the darker skinned variant. I think it looks more warthogish, but the lighter skinned variant is not horrible either. I may pick one up because just depending on which one ends up being more show accurate is the one I'll display. But I think they look pretty good by themselves. And that's just talking about the sculpts. We'll get into a little bit more of it. Now, BEBOP has much better articulation than ROCKSTEADY for whatever reason. Apparently, they changed even the mold on this from the prototype pictures. But he's got a side-to-side head movement. He's got universal shoulders, no elbows, unfortunately. But he does have universal hips as well as knee joints. And like I said, I wish ROCKSTEADY at least had some knee joints in him. But, so he's pretty posable. He's not as posable as the turtles themselves, but you can get him in some decent poses. They each come with two accessories. BEBOP comes with a flash grenade and a sticky grenade, both with a little Z molded into them for Zek. Now, this egg-shaped one, you really can't get him to hold. You can kind of, if you put his arm in just the right position, you can kind of rest the smaller end in the hole for his fist. And it can just kind of rest there. I not see him do. He's kind of resting it on top of his hand. But even with the pliable plastic, it's hard to get this to stay in his grip at all. The sticky bomb, however, is very flat, and you can actually squeeze that in between his fingers and have him hang on to that in his hand. So there's BEBOP. I dig him. And here's ROCKSTEADY. And I really love this design. I like the chest. This chest armor piece is a separate rubbery piece, belt type thing. You might be, yeah, you can even unplug it and take it off if you wish. It's just a little rubber belt. Plug that back on. And he's got his green tank top, his army pants. Now, some versions of this apparently did not have the camo paint on the legs. This one does, as you can see. And again, he's a little bit more limited. He's got a head swivel. He's got a big rhino horn. He's even got a gold tooth over here. See if I can't tone the light down just a little bit here so we can see a little bit more of the details. Doesn't get washed out. His hammer and Cossack are molded from the same plastic his legs are. He's got forward, he's just got a swivel joint here at the shoulder, so you can get some forward motion, but that's about it. And he's does have a wrist swivel, which BEBOP does not have. They didn't paint the little symbols. Oh, I guess hammer on one side, Cossack on the other. I've got them in the wrong hands. But these little, the back parts of his gloves, these little pieces right here should be painted gold on the back of his hands. But, oh well, he's got a little pouch over here. He does have a waist swivel here. And then he's just got a kind of angled swivel cut for his legs, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt. And his feet, you can see they have peg holes, but they're roundish on the bottom, which, again, accurate to a rhinoceros, but it makes standing him a little bit tricky. You can get him to do it like there he is. He's leaning back a little bit on this foot. If you pull this left leg, he has right leg, just back slightly, He'll stand kind of on the ball of this foot and on the front of this foot, and it's a much more stable arrangement to have him stand. I didn't pull it quite far enough back. He's still wobbling a little bit, but you can have him stand very sturdily. So again, he's limited in posability, which is a shame. Although, you know, like most bruisers, he tends to be more. A lot of big bruiser figures tend to have limited articulation just to look imposing. Okay, Anton Zek, Bebop here does have a waist swivel as well. I forgot to mention that. So, like, I love the sculpts. I love the designs. I wish Rocksteady had a little bit more articulation. It would have been nice if Bebop had elbow joints or wrist swivels, one or the other. But overall, I dig the designs. They're pretty cool. They are, however, like many TMNT villain figures, they're a little on the small side. Like, these are not the Battle Show ones. Here they are with the first ones. And you can see Leonardo is... Rocksteady's a little taller at the hump. And again, Bebop with the mohawk. They're a little taller than the turtles themselves with the original ones. But Bebop and Rocksteady always seem to me to be much bulkier and more massive than the turtles in the cartoon. And so it's kind of a shame that they're about the same size. Design-wise, they're great. Size-wise, like most of the villains in this line, just don't measure up to the turtles. So that's a little disappointing. Here, we'll get all the turtles in there. So we can have all the classic dudes. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, Bebop, and Rocksteady. So like I said, they look good together. I just wish if they added maybe another half-inch onto these guys, I'd be a little bit more happier with them. I don't mind Zek being so small because if you've seen the episode, he is kind of a wiry, I can slip through cracks undetected type of thief. He's not, like a brutish street thug. So I'm kind of okay with him being a little smaller and thinner. But Steranko is, big, beefy Russian general. Like he's that type of guy. So I would have liked to see him maybe a little bit taller. Like I said, Zek maybe a quarter of an inch height on him would have been cool. At least another half-inch on Rocksteady, I think, would have made these more or less perfect for me. But like I said, design-wise, I think they're really cool. Just from a physical, what they look like standpoint. So yeah, these are apparently Walmart exclusive, at least for now. I don't know if that's something that's set to change in the future, or if these will always be Walmart exclusive. But yeah, I actually ordered these from Walmart.com. Although people are finding them in the stores, like from very disparate locations in the United States, like both coasts, like they're starting to show up everywhere. So keep your eye out if you're looking for them in store. And I don't know if they're still in stock on Walmart.com. As soon as they went up, I ordered them. So yeah, there they are. Very cool. Finally, a couple of more classic characters in the new cartoon, Bebop and Rocksteady.